may be looking at me right now and thinking something is different. There's probably a couple different things you're noticing right now. Before we get to Boxtrolls discussion, I look really weird. I know. Those of you that have been with me for a long time know that I have always had my webcam mirrored because it helps me stay in frame and it's just easier for me and my blonde brain. However, I got a shiny new webcam because my old one was not supported any longer. My videos have been in 720p and I was able to mirror it in my ancient webcam. This new webcam, however, I would have to take it down to 480 or whatever it was to be able to use the mirrored function. I'm still not sure how exactly I get a nice new super fancy camera, but it doesn't have the capabilities of my old crappy camera. Somebody explain that to me, Logitech. I would like to know. Any hoodles, that means we have some getting used to because I'm afraid to look at myself because my face looks really weird. Like I don't like it. It looks funky to me. And my lips are like way more crooked than they look like when I look in the mirror. I don't know. Any hoodles. Yeah, so this is going to take some getting used to for both of us. All of us. And I apologize in advance. But it does mean that you get extra super awesome high def quality, right? So that's good. Okay, let's talk about the Boxtrolls, so I don't have to talk about that anymore. Okay, the Boxtrolls came about in 2014. It is a 3D stop motion animation film. What is that? You may be wondering if you didn't watch it like you were supposed to. 3D stop motion animation is very fancy stop motion animation. If you watched any television from, well, at least for me, from the 80s onwards, I think it still plays every year. You've probably seen the Rankin Bass, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, The Year Without a Santa Claus, Jack Frost. That's stop motion animation, which is my favorite kind of animation, actually. There's something you didn't know about me. I love it. I love it more than traditional animation. I really do. So the newest movie until I had seen the Boxtrolls was Coraline, based on Neil Gaiman's book. And I loved Coraline. It was so excited to see stop motion animation again. And then the Boxtrolls came out and it was on the Netflix and I thought, that looks like, and it was stop motion animation. So I'm going to give you the beginnings of the plot, but not ruin the movie in case you haven't watched it. So basically what it boils down to, there are these adorable little creatures called Boxtrolls. They're trolls. They wear boxes. When they get scared, they hide in the boxes. As you do. They live under a town. It's like Cheesetopia or something. I don't know. Cheese is really, really important to everybody in this town, at least all the mucky mucks. And yeah, one day a very important man about town goes missing along with his baby, and the Boxtrolls are blamed. They are blamed by the local exterminator, one Mr. Snatcher. So basically, Snatcher really, really wants to get in the cheese tasting room with all the muckety mucks, and he really, really wants this big white hat that like the high gram poobahs get to wear. I think it's a bit of a silly looking hat, but hey, whatever floats your boat. Your fashion sense and my fashion sense do not have to be the same. Any hoodles. So Snatcher makes a deal with like the Grand High Poobah, mayor person, whatever, and says, hey, since these evil, terrible, scary Boxtrolls are out to steal and eat our children, if I catch and kill them all, then can I have a big fancy white hat and get to taste cheese in the cheese tasting room? And the mayor dude's like, sure, whatever. So Thus begins Snatcher's reign o' terror. Thing is, he knows damned well that these Boxtrolls are not mean, evil, horrible monsters that eat children. Basically, they're just sweet little beings that like to collect junk and build stuff out of it. They're the ultimate recyclers, really. But he does this huge smear campaign, which I'm sure anybody who's followed any kind of politics ever knows what a smear campaign is. But all the humans are afraid of Boxtrolls because they think they're these terrible monsters that kill and eat children, which is not the case, of course. So the Boxtrolls raise this little human boy named Eggs. All of the trolls are named after what's on their box. So you've got like fish, eggs, I'm sure there's probably one named Buttons. I don't know, any hoodles, just depending. They get named for their boxes. So Eggs is a human boy who thinks he's a Boxtroll until things happen and he meets a human girl and finds out that he is in fact not a Boxtroll, but a human boy. Not that it really matters to him because he still loves the Boxtrolls that raised him. So he goes on a mission to find out what has happened to all the Boxtrolls that Snatcher has snatched up, and things happen. Like I said, I don't want to give away most anything else, but needless to say, I found this movie to be very sweet, really pretty, a little weird. Like even Snatcher himself is kind of gross, but I think kids will dig it because they like the weird stuff. So what is off-putting to me may not be off-putting to the little ones because, they're kind of into that kind of thing. So, it is set in the Victorian era. So parts of it are really beautiful just because of that. A little slight steampunk, especially like when it comes to some of the machinery, which is really groovy. And yeah, I don't know. It was nice. It has a happy ending, so you don't have to worry about that. And it's funny. And you're going to recognize a lot of people. Actually, Snatcher, our main antagonist, is voiced by Ben Kingsley, which you guys all know Sir Ben Kingsley by now, right? And then Eggs, our main protagonist, is Isaac Hempstead-Wright from Game of Thrones. He plays Bran. Elle Fanning is in there. Simon Pegg and Nick Frost are in there from Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz. Tracy Morgan voices a particularly creepy yet really funny little dude. So you'll recognize the voices, and I think you'll really enjoy the animation style if you're into that kind of thing. And I really think that you'll like the story because I found it to be, like I said, it's just sweet and nice, and I felt good after I watched it. And sometimes those are the best kind of movies. But yeah, totally appropriate for your kids. There's not a lot of adult humor. I'm sure there are jokes that only grown-ups will get, but they're not raunchy or nasty or anything weird like that. So, yay! 2 thumbs up for the Boxtrolls. I really liked it. Alrighty, that means next week we're reading. What are we reading? We have something special coming up in October, but for now, next Thursday, we are going to discuss Discount Armageddon by Shauna McGuire. I'm hoping there. Yay, look, since we're not mirrored, you can actually read things. Don't you just feel so tickled? Yes, incidentally, I did read this last summer or the summer before, and I remembered liking it, but with my brain fog, just reading books is all new. So we're going to read this because I felt like a reread, and it is #1 in a series, which I apologize in advance, but you guys know how I am with series. But at least it's the first one. It is the Encrypted series. This is urban fantasy. Sorry about that. This is urban fantasy. So if you're into that kind of thing, awesome. If you've never read urban fantasy, give it a try. I think you'll like it. It's my favorite genre, hands down. All right, so tune in next week and we'll talk about Discount Armageddon. And that's all for me for today. I love you guys. Have a great day. Bye.